imagine sitting there, you want to be a wife, you want to be loyal. How can you do that if you're practicing, sucking fun dip every week? You're not practicing cooking, you're not practicing mental health, you're not practicing how to talk to him, how to cater, how to be submissive, and how to talk to him in a nurturing way. You're practicing sucking pee-pee. That's not the same thing.
But what if that's not what you want? What if you don't want to be?
I'm only speaking on women who want to be wives. All the other OF. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to be talking about my men's mental health documentary, and I have a special guest here today. Go ahead and state your name.
My name is Justin. I'm 27.
Nice. Okay, so how are you doing mentally?
Mentally, as of today?
Yes, and in general?
In general? I feel good, honestly. When I was younger, not so much, but as of now, in this day and age, I remind myself to always be grateful every morning. Sometimes I don't feel 100%, but I do things like I'll meditate, write down my goals, my intentions for the day, and also I choose to be proud.
Good, I like that answer. And you said not so much when you were younger. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so basically, when I was younger, I faced a lot of anxiety, like crippling anxiety. I didn't want to go in public. A lot of the times I didn't want to deal with people. Then I actually got into drugs, and that was like, I didn't want to feel, reality. That was my getaway at the time. But I realized as I was doing it longer and longer, I was actually digging myself deeper in that hole.
And you said you got into drugs. Do you mind sharing how that started? If you don't want to, you don't have to answer that.
No, that's fine. I don't mind sharing. So I was basically just hanging out with people, and we didn't have anything going on in our town. There was nothing really going on, so we were drinking. I was into drinking at that time. I was about 14 years old.
Wow. You're young.
Yeah, very young. And then this kid I was hanging out with, he actually brought Xanax. He was like, oh, try it. And you're young, so you want to be cool at the time. Before I know, I was eating all them every single day.
And you were 14 when you started?
14 till I was 18.
Oh my God. Do you want to talk about you ODing?
Yeah, I don't mind. So basically, it was bits and pieces because I was, abusing drugs, and I just remember bits and pieces of that night. Actually, the people I was with, the gentleman who introduced me to the drugs, I was falling everywhere. My face was bloody. So it turns out he put me in his car and basically dropped me off right in front of my parents' house in the street.
Oh my God, that's so scary. What did your parents say?
Oh, they were not happy.
They were livid.
They were heartbroken. Honestly.
Yeah, I'd be scared if it was my kid.
Yeah, they were. And I just remember crawling up to the doorstep. I remember knocking on the door, my mom breaking down crying. And they're like, we gotta take you to the hospital. And then I just remember it was just dark. And then I heard, that heart machine in the hospital. Yeah, I just heard it. And then I opened my eyes and seen my dad on the right hand side of me, and he didn't leave me the whole night. And there was IV in my arm.
That is so sad.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Jeez. What could you tell young men that are watching this? Because if you ever watch my channel, I talk about not drinking and not smoking, and a lot of people, they can't stop from stuff like that, and they believe that they truly need smoking and drugs because they just can't stop. Can you give them any advice on either how to overcome it or how you feel you're sober right now? So
yeah.
How do you feel in today being sober?
Well, honestly, at that time, everybody thought I was probably gonna die or go to jail.
No.
Yeah. Every day I was eating, Xanax and other pills, and I was pretty much doing whatever I get my hands on. But to answer your question, I've been through it. You guys are not alone, right? You need a support system. And if you're in an environment where it does not let you pass that threshold, whether it's your girlfriend, she's enabling you, she's getting high with you, your friends, so on and so forth, you have to get away from those people, places, or things. And you need support. So go to meetings if you need to, go to church, do whatever you need to do in order to overcome that. Just believe in you. You can do anything you put your mind to, and don't limit yourself. I was 115 pounds. I was basically my whole body was as thick as my wrist.
Jeez. Wow. I always tell them all the time to separate yourself from your old friends and get better friends and things like that. Because I'm a woman, sometimes they don't listen to me, so it's good hearing it from a guy. So you guys understand you need to switch your friends if you're doing drugs with them or smoking with them or hanging around the wrong crowd. So I really like that.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you overcame it. So, what's the biggest struggle you faced as a man?
So in today's society, I feel like a lot of men, not me personally, all the time, you know, but I feel like a lot of men feel like they can't talk about how they truly feel, and you know, you're very vulnerable because you feel all that pressure from whether it's your wife, your girlfriend, your job, your finances, you're trying to take care of everything, and you have nobody to really vent to, because if you feel like you vent, you feel like it would make you weak. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes perfect sense. Do you feel like you can vent to anybody about things in today's society?
Absolutely not. I wouldn't even choose to do that.
Really? Why?
Because not everybody deserves to know your business.
Do you think that people don't care, or who do you think doesn't care? Like men or women, or just both?
Well, personally, I don't care to share things with people, because if they're not around me forever, why am I going to tell them forever shit, you know?
Oof. I didn't think of it like that. So would you say you like struggle yourself like today, or no?
Occasionally, luckily, I'm blessed with really good people in my corner, you know, like my blood family, like my mom and dad. They give me undying support and love. Also, the people I call my brothers, you know, they're my chosen family, and we're just very transparent with each other. We hold each other accountable. So luckily, I have that support system.
That's good. And then before, in the previous like clip, we talked about, you know, your drug addiction and stuff like that. So despite being an addict, what was your will to live, and what changed your life?
What changed my, honestly,
Yes.
all my struggles. Like, I had to stumble upon my strengths, and I had to go through those things to build my character and build, you know, my discipline. I wasn't taking accountability back then, and I just wanted to escape reality, so I was just void filling, right? Drugs, women, drinking, I didn't care. I just needed outside forces. But when you're not okay internally, no matter what you have on the outside, money, doesn't matter, it will never fill that void. Does that make sense?
Yes. And could you tell them what you think is best to fill voids that you have now, or do you think you'll ever be able to fill voids completely?
I think you can't fill a void, but you can heal.
I like that.
You could heal, and it takes a lot of steps to heal. The biggest thing my brother taught me, JC, is learn who you are, right? Because a lot of us act upon how we think somebody wants us to act. You know, he said, make a list, 10 things that you like, 10 things that you dislike. And it just gives you a better understanding of who you are. And that's the first step.
Nice. And do you believe now, after everything you've been through, that you are healed, or you're like still on your journey of healing?
Oh, I think everybody's on their journey, honestly. I think no matter what, everybody's dealing with the same type of stuff. I know sometimes a lot of us feel alone and like we're the only ones dealing with these things, but everybody is. And I'm always a work in progress.
Perfect. I really like that answer. So if there's anything I ask you that makes you feel uncomfortable, just, you know, tell me you don't want to answer it, and we'll like skip on to that. I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. So how often do you feel the urge to relapse?
Honestly, I don't even have, anybody can be drinking in front of me, or they can partake in whatever they want. I'm so grounded now. I know I'm to the point where I can't risk anything I have going on for me. I have too much momentum, you know. So
That's good.
Yeah, I don't even have the slightest interest on doing anything.
Could you give like maybe young men advice on like maybe tips not to get like that? Because I know a lot of men struggle with seeing other people drinking or people doing certain things, and they end up wanting to do it. They get those urges.
So if you have those urges, actually I went to a lot of meetings, you know, NA meetings, AA meetings. I got to hear a lot of people's stories. The only thing that can make you slip up is people, places, or things. And also, don't look at it long term. Like, oh, I've been 3 months, right? They have a saying that they say, just for today. As long as you can make it through today sober, and don't be around people that are going to influence you to do bad, or even get you upset to the point where you want to go run and do those things, right? Like, for example, like, you know, I know it's hard for some things. Some people have like baby moms and they're using the child as a pawn, and that's a lot of pressure on a man, you know. So it's just believe in yourself, and you know, those are just small steps.
That's a good example. I have a question for you that's like not on this list, because I know there's a lot of people that don't know how to like get better tactics for themselves. Do you believe working out's a better addiction? Because I feel like if you have an addiction in life, you got to pick better ones instead of like doing drugs and drinking. You think the gym is a better replacement?
So that is a great point. Honestly, literally, from the time I overdosed, I needed structure. If I had time to sit there and think, that's when I would want to go do things. Also, I had people doubting me, telling me to my face that like you're not going to be anything besides what you were. And I was like, yo, you know, screw these guys. They ain't gonna tell me who I'm gonna become. But, and I got off track. But to answer your question, yes, like, I just started working out 6 days a week, and I just needed to make sure I got to the gym. And then I started thinking more clear, you know, and it just progressed. And the gym, I believe, cures everything. Depression, anxiety, you know, whether you're not feeling 100%. As long as you just make it there and give it your all, you will feel better.
That's good. I'm proud of you. That's a good answer.
Yeah, thank you.